People to be aware of how quickly these things can turn on you. And at this point, I was nauseous all the time. I was throwing up a lot, super dry and flaky skin, super lethargic, depression.
Approached by a child. I mean, this kid, he was maybe 14 years old. And he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, can you buy me some Feel Free?" I didn't understand what he was talking about, but I said, "Do you need food or something?" And he said, "No, I need Feel Free." And I was like, "I'm sorry, no." And this young kid lunged at me and tried to take my wallet out of my hand.
Okay, what is up guys? Today we're filming a commentary video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Feel Free drink. It's been all over TikTok for the last few weeks and a lot of people have been talking about it and I want to talk about it. So if you're new, subscribe, like this video, comment, make sure you check out my socials, everything linked down below. Make sure you share this video if you think this is interesting, all that good stuff. Check out my podcast, Pray Open Minded, on Spotify and it's on YouTube. And yeah, turning postifications. And so I'm a little nerve-sighted talking about this. Also, the day that I'm filming this, I've been 25 for 2 days now. So if you want to say happy birthday, that would be great. Happy belated birthday. Because people are still telling me, you know? So I'm just kidding, you don't have to. If you're not familiar with Feel Free, it's been a thing for a little while now. But it's this tonic drink that is supposed to be like... It was marketed as like... an alternative to alcohol, so a lot of people that were not feeling like drinking anymore, they went to that. But the thing is, the active ingredients in this drink is highly addictive, so it made people extremely addicted to this drink. And there's even articles from like last year that I found about this drink, but for some reason people are just now talking about it right now, because I think a creator on TikTok was telling a story about how this kid was asking him to buy it for him, and I think you're supposed to be 18 and up to buy it, but he was like, I think either in middle school or high school, I couldn't remember. I wasn't trying to buy it.
Hi, no joking in this video. This is a warning, specifically for parents, but I guess really for anybody. Something truly disturbing just happened to me. I just stopped for gas on my way home, and while I was there, I wanted a beverage, so I went to go inside. So as I'm walking in, I am approached by a child. I mean, this kid, he was maybe 14 years old. And he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, can you buy me some Feel Free?" I didn't understand what he was talking about, but I said, "Do you need food or something?" And he said, "No, I need Feel Free." And I was like, "I'm sorry, no." And this young kid lunged at me and tried to take my wallet out of my hand. I grabbed it really fast and I just went inside. So I go inside, I grab my drink, I go up to the cashier and I was like, "Hey, just so you know, there's like some kid out there. He was asking me to buy something for him." And he like tried to grab my wallet and she was just like, "Oh my gosh, it's this." And she pointed to this little blue bottle on the counter that I've never seen before. Looks like that. And I was like, "Oh, what's that? Like a 5-hour energy?" And she was like, "No, this stuff is so sad. I have people coming in here 5-6 times a day to get this. It's so addictive. And people lose their minds. People act like actual crackheads or like they have heroin addictions over this little drink." So I get home and I look into this. People are literally going to rehab over this drink that is legal in most states in the US, that is sold at gas stations. I mean, it's called Feel Free, but traps you in addiction. That feels very nefarious. But I don't think that we talk enough about things that are legal, but sold next to gum and energy drinks. And yeah, this kid was so young, and like his face is like just burned into my memory about how lost he looked. So please be careful.
It's sold both in stores and online, and I did look it up. And on Amazon, a pack of them is $157. Main ingredients in this drink is, I'm gonna spell it out like half of the word, because I think whenever people say the word they get in trouble, because I could have sworn like Earth Mama Medicine used to talk about it like back in like 2020 or something, and then she got in trouble for talking about it. So I'm gonna have to just be careful with it. I'm not trying to get in trouble. So it's spelled KR space, how do I spell it? KR space Atom, like that, because I'm not trying to get in trouble. And yeah, okay, so, and it also has kava, and it also has botanicals in it and adaptogens. So I was like, okay, what do you mean by botanicals and adaptogens? Promoted as a plant-based drink, and the thing that is, like, it comes in a cute little bottle, so it's very, very appealing to someone as young as me or even younger, because it's very aesthetically pleasing. And you know, this is kind of what they do with freaking vapes because they come in these little like funky sweet flavors that a lot of people would gravitate towards, like a lot of younger people would gravitate towards, and they come in different colors, so you know, naturally a lot of people would gravitate towards it, you know. Me personally, I've never seen this drink in person, but it's very popular in gas stations, but I don't really go to gas stations, so I don't really have a reason to go there. So I don't know. Even if I did see it, I don't think I would want to try it because I'm very picky, and I try not to be super crazy about things, because I remember one time I've tried a freaking eatable out here and I felt like I was seeing colors, and it was just crazy. Like, this was back in like 2021 or something like that. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. They were good, but I didn't know how much to take because I started smoking at like 17 years old. I'm thinking, oh, I can eat a whole. No, I was literally off the walls. And like, they have the ones out here, they have like Delta space 8 on it, okay? And so it's definitely different than the ones that I've dealt with in the past. It's like a different type of elevated, if you know what I'm talking about. So when I tried it, I was thinking I was gonna get the same results because I didn't really understand like the all these different terminologies when it comes to getting elevated. So yeah, I was throwing up. I went to the urgent care because like I was freaking myself out a lot, and I was like, I think I greened out. Honestly, I think I greened out, and it was just not a fun experience. Like, I tried eating and then it would come up, and it was just not a fun experience. Like, I don't recommend that experience, honestly. And I feel like everyone has a very traumatic story from that. Like, I have a whole story time on my channel that's more in depth. I don't remember every little thing, but I do remember I threw up on like the urgent care. I threw up all over the floor, which, girl, I never do that, okay? And I felt so bad because like this older lady that I think was a janitor was cleaning it up, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel so bad. And she didn't know English, and I think I was trying to talk to her, but I was so elevated that I'm like, how come she's not talking back to me? Like, I don't understand. So I was feeling some type of way about it. I'm over here thinking she didn't like me, but in reality, when I look back on it, she didn't know English. So yeah, there's that. But I felt really bad. I wish I could tip her or something. It's just gross because it was just all over the place. Like, it was gross. So normalized in high school, and that's when I started, you know. But like, anything younger than that is kind of crazy. Doing all this weird other shit to get that same feeling of being elevated, and they're doing it in a very dangerous way. That's what's concerning. They're also banning a lot of things. They said that they're banning vapes, hemp products, and something else I can't remember. But so I don't know. Whenever things like that happen, people start getting desperate. The serving size, and I think also people were going over the serving size. I think you're supposed to use half the bottle, but people were using the whole bottle, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw people putting it like the tonic in their coffees and just regular smuggler drinks like lemonades, all that stuff. They promote it. It's kind of like this whimsical, fun drink, but it's just like, I don't know. It's giving weird. It has this weird undertone when I look at their TikTok page. And when you look at their TikTok page, there isn't a lot of followers. I'm thinking that's the page. But they are so weird with their responses, because I saw a comment that said, how do you sleep at night? Insinuating that you're causing a lot of addictions. And I don't think the person that runs that account was reading the room. So the account replies, oh, on a big mattress. One thing I hate is when a company does not address something that's been happening, and a lot of people are talking about it, because even to this day, like, I'm still finding videos of more people that are addressing that they were addicted to this drink. And you know who isn't talking about it on their page? Feel free, okay? It's freaking crazy how normalized this is. I don't know. Honestly,
Hi guys, my name is Jasmine. I was addicted to the little blue bottles called Feel Free by Botanic Tonics. I was drinking anywhere from 9 to 12 a day at the height of my addiction, sometimes more than that, sometimes less than that. They have these two ingredients in them primarily, and I'm going to give kind of a month by month breakdown of how my addiction progressed, because it did not just go from 1 to 12 bottles at the very beginning. It was a very, very slow progression, and I make this video to show you guys that some products that are marketed as all natural, as alcohol alternatives, can seem really good for you at first and then very quickly turn on you. Okay, so let's talk about the first 6 months of taking these. To give some context, I got sober from alcohol in June of 2022. So this is around when I started taking the Feel Free tonics. During the first 6 months, I really had zero issues with them. Honestly, I thought it was a great alcohol alternative. It made me feel more social, more energized, more productive, but I would typically only take them during social events. I could go weeks at a time without having one. So I felt like I had a really good grip on my use of these. So 6 months to a year, my usage did progress. I would take them more frequently during social events. It was like probably every social event I was going to, I was taking at least one of them. The time between me actually taking them got shorter and shorter. So instead of going, say, like 2 weeks without them, it would be maybe 5 days without them. But still, I felt like I had a pretty decent grip on the usage. This is when I would start to notice mental come downs, not physical withdrawals necessarily, but these emotional withdrawals where I would feel more grumpy or irritated the next day after taking a couple. So at a year to about a year and 3 months, so 12 months to 15 months of usage, this is when the usage started to drastically increase, and I felt myself developing a pretty heavy dependency on them. At this point, I started taking at least one a day, sometimes like 3 to 5 a day. And this is when I started to feel physical withdrawals when I wouldn't take them. So I would honestly like really chalk it up to allergies a lot of the times, because I live in Texas. I get really bad allergies, and that's kind of what the physical withdrawals felt like, sort of flu-like symptoms. I would wake up feeling really irritated and feel like I needed to take one. So that is when the addiction started to kind of snowball a little bit more out of control. This was also at the point where I felt very irritated and grumpy if I did not have a tonic or two for a social event. I needed one for every single social event I was participating in. If I was with family or friends, I wanted to have a tonic with me at all times. I was also in a really bad place at my last job. I was starting to develop pretty severe depression from that job, a lot of anxiety. So I was taking them more and more throughout the day. At this point, I was taking them at work, and it became much more of a daily habit. Talk about when the addiction got to its absolute worst. This was at the 15-month, about a year and 3 months to a year and a half mark. This is when I would wake up every single morning in severe physical withdrawal, and I was taking them as soon as I would wake up and then all throughout the day until I went to sleep. Sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night and take them too. This is when it got to 9 to sometimes 12 bottles a day at the very, very height of the addiction. I was severely physically dependent at this point, and it's like there was a very quick just like decline in my health, just quick incline on my dependency to these. So I make this video because, again, I want people to be aware of how quickly these things can turn on you. And at this point, I was nauseous all the time. I was throwing up a lot because I was taking these. They make you really sick. I had super dry and flaky skin, primarily from the kava. I was super lethargic. Depression was at its worst because of these, because my dopamine levels in my brain were just completely out of whack. And I was just taking them to feel some sort of normalcy. I definitely didn't feel normal because I was physically dependent on this. But I just felt absolutely awful. And that is, of course, I talk about when I got sober at a year and a half mark. I got sober in March of 2024.
Like viral on TikTok, a lot of people are going to get it because they're going to think that, oh, well, it's an alternative to alcohol and stimulants. So I'm going to have that still that whimsical feeling, but just without drinking. But these have really questionable ingredients in it. So I'm going to read a little bit more. So according to Rising Phoenix Recovery, they said that there's a lot of risk that comes into this when you are consuming this a lot. So what's the risk include is that if you take certain medications like antidepressants and stuff like that, it does cause dangerous after effects. It didn't say how, but I can only see like how that can go, because it's like an uppers and a downer. I don't know if you could call, I don't know, it's like all downers. I don't know. No, I think it's uppers and downers. So that could really mess up your body, because I think the Feel Free drink is an upper and the antidepressant is a downer, if I'm not mistaken. You stop taking it, you are at risk of having anxiety, depression, and if you are in active recovery off of like certain substances, you are at risk of relapsing. So there's that, you know. Although some people claim that they didn't have a immediate like reaction or addiction to it, there is a good chunk of people that are actively addicted to this drink, which is really, really crazy. So people are young as teens are taking this drink, and it's just, I don't know, it's just, I think what's making people want it is that, one, it's viral, two, it's promoted as like an alternative to drinking, and three, it looks aesthetically pleasing. Person was talking about how she was addicted to this drink. So a woman named Jasmine Adoyi, an account manager based in Austin, Texas, decided to stop drinking this back in June of 2022. She turned into KR Space Atom beverage advertised as an alcohol alternative. Within a year and a half, Adoyi, I don't know how to say it, said she was addicted to the drink. Feel-free classic, lured by what she calls the company's deceptive marketing tactics. The 29-year-old account manager based in Austin, Texas, said her favorite podcasters promoted the drink, which the company Botanic Tonics, that's a lot, that's a tongue twister, Botanic Tonics manufactures and sells as a miracle beverage that could help people trying to overcome addiction and embrace sobriety. So that's kind of, oh my god, my camera's dying. Okay, well, that's kind of interesting to mention, because if it's supposed to help with sobriety, it's causing addictions. She just said that she was addicted to this, so it's kind of like it's not counteractive. They're being a hypocrite in this. Like, it's very it's contradicting. Okay, yeah, it's contradicting. Okay, back to what I was saying, bro. Okay, so having struggled with binge drinking in the past, Adoyi was intrigued. Oh my god. So she said she was unaware the drink contained KR Space Atom, a plant native Southeast Asia that can produce feeling of energy, ease anxiety, and reduce pain, but carries a risk of addiction, seizure, and rarely death. It's unregulated in the US. Some products are sold highly concentrated forms and could contain contaminants like heavy metals and harmful bacteria. Wow. Okay, so she was drinking up to 10-ounce bottles a day, spending around $100 daily. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, $100. Wait, $100 times 30? So she's spending, that can't be right, $3,000 a month? But also, if you times it by 124 hours, it's $2,400. So it's, could be right. That's a lot of money on nothing. Like, how does she pay her bills? I think accountants, I think they get paid decently well, so I think she's fine. Sony recommends consumer to drink no more than a bottle daily. By then, she said her life revolved around the drink, and she said she needed to make sure she had access to it wherever she went. They just keep saying it was advertised as a alcoholic alternative. So she also talks about her withdrawals in this, and then she said when it came to withdrawals, she said she would feel dope sick. Dope sick. And you know, when I saw this video of this man, they said that he had been addicted to Feel Free as well. I don't know why I was questioning it, but he was completely bedbound. He was hooked up to all these machines, and he looked like he probably had that same feeling, but he was advertising, well, no, spreading awareness to not drink the drink because he was super duper addicted. There was also this other video that looked like he was dope sick because he was kind of like drooling from the mouth, and he seemed like very unaware of his surroundings. And I don't know if that was the same man, but I think it is. I'm not too familiar with the story, but I saw those videos very close together. She would go straight to the gas station because she feels that feeling, and she would feel immediately better after she drank it. This is literally like listening to someone that is addicted to heroin or crack or any of those really hardcore drugs, because once they feel that dope sick feeling, they go back to getting it again. So that's why a lot of people that are in active addictions are scared of getting clean because of this feeling that she's explaining right now. I've heard about it so many times because I've watched so many documentaries of people with active addictions, and I do have an uncle that has an active drug addiction. And when he was clean, but it wasn't very long. So that's all I'm gonna say, but it did suck, honestly. It did really suck, but like, it happens a lot, honestly. You go through all the phases. I don't really know what it's like, and plus I didn't grow up around him, so I wouldn't really like know what it's like to grow up with someone like that. I wasn't really around a lot of drug addicts, and if they were, like, they would do it in secret and shit. And like, I had friends that had parents that were in active addiction from middle school to high school, maybe even a little bit in elementary school. One particular girl that I hung out with a lot, her parents were on drugs. I'm hoping they're clean now, but whenever I would sell chocolates to them, they definitely seemed like they were always out of it. And I think, no, they weren't addicted to drugs. They were addicted to drinking. They were addicted to alcohol. I do remember that because I didn't know why, but I don't know. I wasn't really around like a lot of drunk people. Like, I'm telling you, like, I didn't understand it full-heartedly when I was like 9-10 years old. I understand that they were struggling because people were talking about it in the neighborhood, but I wasn't really understanding the full extent to it. I think I was around people that had active addictions. I just was too young to understand the extremities of it, if I'm being honest. Like, since I didn't live with them, I didn't really like understand fully, but I knew that there was something wrong with them. She said that in March of 2024, her withdrawal symptoms were so severe that she went to get medical care. I want to tell the doctors that she was struggling with Kr/Atem use. So she said that she had a virus. They thought that she had a virus because that's how bad her symptoms were. Even a freaking Reddit forum thread that's called Quitting Kr/Atem, and has more than 45,000 members, while a forum dedicated exclusively to quit Feel Free has nearly 3,000 members. So yeah, there's a lot of apparently there are like some resources. There's podcasts and support groups if you are dealing with this right now. But there was even a class action suit back in 2023 in California against Botanic Tonics, alleging that the drink was advertised as a safe alternative to alcohol. Yeah, true. Okay, that's what we've been talking about, because the unsafe marketing tactics is not, it's getting to the children, it's getting to vulnerable people that are actually trying to stay sober and stay clean. So it just seems like it's marketed towards very vulnerable people, and that's what I don't like. And just their weird responses of them just kind of ignoring the issue is making me uncomfortable. This is not something I would want to support as a company, just because it just seems like they're very tone deaf. I mean, they have like 9 followers on their TikTok account, but they are responding to people. So I don't know. And then the fact that they keep freaking posting videos and just acting like there's not people actively addicted to their drinks is crazy. Like, I mean, those addicts are keeping these people's lights on, like, and they're just actively struggling. That's just crazy. 2023 suit. Botanic Tonics posted over 1,000 advertisements on Instagram using the hashtag alcoholic alternative. The suit also says that the advertisements on Instagram omitted any mention of Kr/Atem potential side effects. I don't even know if it says it on the back of the thing that it has it. But I highly doubt that people are looking up like the side effects of that, because I always heard about that substance, whatever you want to call it, and I always heard like really questionable things about it. I don't know if this company is like an herbalist or whatever, but I feel like when it comes to certain herbalists, bro, they kind of mislead a lot of people, and it kind of put it in perspective when 2 incidents. Okay, I watched Madison's I forgot her last name, her commentary about the 2010 veganism craze. And she was mentioning how she felt like that whole era of the 2010s of being vegan and vegetarian was just a horrible marketing scheme. And I could see that because there was just a lot of manipulation and a lot of weird things being put out during that time. Because I remember like seeing things like, oh, if you become vegan you don't have to wear glasses, you can just eat vegan and this will happen. I guess even Fully Raw Christina was like, oh, like when I started eating vegan my eyes changed colors. And you know, I stopped eating meat when I was 14 years old, and I started eating meat like last year. So a lot of my life, well, not a lot of my life, but it feels like a lot of my life, it was almost 10 years of my life, I was not eating meat. And it just comes to a point where it's just like, is this really for them or is it for me? Like I have to start, like I had to like unfortunately put myself first in that situation and be like, well, like I don't know if it's really giving me the same like effects like it did before when I was in high school, even when I was even out of high school. And plus they weren't really like, there was not a lot of vegan vegetarian options for us. So it just became kind of like this thing. But I do feel like they do kind of play on a lot of people's insecurities. And in that time when I was in high school, I did have like disordered eating problems. Like, oh, you know, like hearing things like, oh, if you eat 50 bananas a day, like you'll be flat, all that stuff. Like that is very impressionable for someone like me. Like I just wanted to be skinny. I didn't do it because I wanted to be skinny. Like that was also in the back of my mind though. I did it for the animals, also to be snatched, you know what I mean? All that stuff, it's kind of like, it's very impressionable. And I started kind of realizing like a couple days ago also, like there's a lot of manipulation in it, and you have to really like catch on to it and do your research to know what you're getting yourself into. Because even just not eating meat for that long, it takes a lot of guts, it takes a lot of courage, and you really have to do a lot of research on it. Because like I followed a lot of plant-based influencers over the years, and there's some that I still watch to this day, you know, just for the nostalgic purposes. But there's also that huge group of people that are just like willing to just manipulate you just to get a commission. I don't like that, and that's what it kind of feels like, you know what I mean? Because I only was questioning it because it said it was like a plant-based company, and I feel like they sell you a lot of pipe dreams sometimes, and then you kind of have to like figure out like, is eating animals better or is it worse? Like I still have these moments where I'm like, ew, I'm eating an animal. Like chicken is a lot of the times my safe foods. I don't really try to eat beef, I don't really eat pork. I eat turkey and chicken a lot. I had beef yesterday, but it's not like a constant thing. But it's like, oh my god, like ew, I'm eating an animal, you know? I also fell into like this thing where I was trying to go natural again like a month ago, and I was trying like a crystal deodorant. I was watching this girl named Live Holistic, and she said it was really good. So I was like, oh, like she said it eliminates BO. I talked about it on my TikTok. If you want to follow me on there, Spicy Bruja, at two A's at the end. And then I also have another account called Hippie Fairy if you want to follow me on there too. But she was talking about how it was really good and this and the third. I used it for like a couple of weeks, girl. The first few weeks it wasn't that bad. Up until last week, I noticed that my body started getting used to it, because I was only using it in the house, because I was like, I can't trust myself leaving the house with this thing. Okay, and I'm using this as an example, I'm not blaming her, but this is the reason why I tried it. She's the reason why I tried it. I noticed that the second I get out of the shower, I put that shit on. Oh my god, my armpits smelled like 10 pounds of bounce that ass, bro. I was disgusted. I was like, oh my god, I was detoxing my armpits. I put witch hazel to help with the BO. It worked for 2 seconds. Then I went back to it smelling bad again. Like that smell, I never smelled that come out of my body. So I was saying that in the video, like it was very TMI. I was being very honest. I was basically de-influencing y'all into buying it. It was $7. I bought it because I was thinking I was gonna save money from using all my other deodorants. I use Secret mostly. That's what I use. That's my go-to. I spray on deodorants and a roll on deodorants. But I was like, let me use this because I'm gonna save money. I'm trying to save money so I can go on more trips. And I didn't want to keep buying deodorants every month, so that was my way of doing it. But then I realized this is making me smell worse. How the fuck does a deodorant make you smell worse? And I'm just like, every time I did this, just a little this, if I lift it up slightly, oh my god, the smells. So I decided to return it back. I got my refund, but I was just like, that was disgusting. Like, don't buy it. Even if you are watching this now, do not buy it, because I definitely fell into the trap of, you know, consumerism with that. I was really embarrassed because I was just like, I was thinking this is working because it wasn't making me smell that bad before. I was applying it like once or twice a day. Most of the time it was once a day, but then my body chemistry was just not working well with it. And I just need to let that natural shit go because it just doesn't work for me. I have to use something with aluminum free because that shit works for me. I can't keep playing like this because I'm wasting money, you know? But it's a lot of things just being shoved down your throat, like buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. And it just gets overstimulating a lot. You know what I mean? It's not worth it. And I feel bad for the people that are addicted to this drink, but I'm also very glad that there's people sharing their stories. I think there needs to be more people talking about it because I don't think a lot of people get it, and plus it kind of gets hidden in the algorithm because it's a controversial topic, you know, with the KR space Atom. They don't really like talking about it. Like, you're not really allowed to talk about it online because it's like technically illegal in some places. So there's that. But I just think that people are trying to find a feeling, trying to find a relief, but they're also harming themselves in the process of that, which really, really sucks. Because the person that I saw of that man, he was in a hospital. There's people that are going to rehab over this because it's that serious. People are thinking, oh, it's just a drink, I'm not gonna get addicted. It's serious though, because a lot of people are getting addicted. Just because you didn't get addicted the first few times doesn't mean the third time you won't. You know what I mean? Like, you have to take everything with precautions and not believe everything you see on the internet, because you need to do research too. Because I think that if people did the research, I don't think that they would be where they are now, like trusting with things. Because I remember even like poppy the soda was under fire for what it was promoting. Remember last year or this year? And there was that huge debate with Olipop and Poppy because everyone was super mad at Poppy over the false claim saying it helps with your gut health, but it really doesn't. It was just a bunch of sugar, and it's supposed to be a healthy alternative to soda, but it was just like drinking a soda. You know, that's what I'm talking about. It's kind of like the same thing with this feel-free drink, and I think it's in our faces a lot. We just don't take the time to research enough, and that's what will get us. Like, Olipop can be the same thing, you know, like, but the thing is, Olipop didn't have a lawsuit against it. I don't believe. I made a whole video about it. I literally can't remember the life of me if they had, like, Poppy had a lawsuit, but I think it had like 1 drop of apple cider vinegar, and that's what a lot of people were like going crazy over for the last few years, because they're just like, oh, if you drink this, your stomach will be flat in the morning. Surprisingly, I never took shots of apple cider vinegar because for some reason, like, I just couldn't do it. I did a lot of weird things that I thought was working, but like for apple cider vinegar, like, it gives me acid reflux, so that saved me a lot, honestly. But also, it doesn't do anything. It has proven that it doesn't do anything for your gut health. So, you know, but a lot of people are gullible. I don't know. But I think I'm gonna end the video here. I had a lot of fun talking about this. I had this weird obsession with talking about addictions or people that are in toxic relationships. I like talking about it for some reason and talking about my experiences with it. But this type of stuff is like right up my alley, you know. But yeah, if you made it this far, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you check out my other videos if you haven't already. They're all in a playlist, so if you like that type of stuff, make sure you check all that stuff out. Also check out my podcast, Paper Minded, on Spotify, and it's also available on YouTube. I don't know what to post on there, so I've been posting little videos on there here and there. So if you have any ideas for that, let me know, because I haven't really been posting like long form videos in a really long time. So I will see you guys next week with another video. Next week I'm gonna be back in school, so I'm gonna try to post once a week still, but this time I'm not going to be at school every single day, so I'm excited for that, because all year I've been in school every single day. All year. We're in the 8th month of the year and I'm barely getting a break from not going to school every single day. Isn't that insane? That's insane. I just got done with freaking online school a week ago and I only had 1 week of break. And normally I have like 2 or 3 weeks, but I did 2 summer classes. But one was in person and the other one was online, and they were at 2 separate times, so there's that. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next week with another one. Bye guys.